So how many days after Trump is sworn in before this effort to carry out the mass deportations begins? I know you said it starts on day one, but after how many days will we actually start to see that happening?
Day one.
All right, folks, today we've got something really explosive to talk about. So Tom Homan just appeared on CNN, and let me tell you, it was anything but a typical interview. Now, you might be wondering what all the fuss is about. Well, the hubs of controversy here is that we're diving straight into the deeply contentious topic of mass deportations. You know, those tough immigration policies proposed during the Trump administration. Tom Homan says they're hitting the ground running from...
On this effort overall, in terms of what you believe you need, and you're obviously deeply familiar with how this works and what's ahead of you, you had previously said about $86 billion was the minimum this project will cost. Do you have a better estimate now as you've been developing your plan?
I never said $86 billion. That was a CNN reporter that said $86 billion. I don't know what that number is right now. Again, we're working on the plan. Again, it depends on how many resources I have and what the cost is going to be. But I'll say this. $86 billion. I mean, what price you put on the young women that have been murdered and raped in this country? What price you put on, the lives of all these little girls that, there's numerous cases. What price you put on national security? Because we know a record number of people on terrorist watch that's been called on the southern border. We also know there's over 2.2 million gotaways. How many of them came from countries sponsoring terror? What price you put on the thousands of angel moms and dads who their children were buried by their parents because their children were killed by someone that's not supposed to be here? There's a lot of cost factor. But let me say this: this would be an expensive operation, but in the long run, it would be a huge tax savings on the American people, because right now they're spending billions of dollars on free airline tickets, free hotel rooms, free medical care. Not talking about our education system, our trauma and hospitals, and sir, then that's in perpetuity.
Get this, day one. That's right. That's no waiting around, no endless debates. They're diving in head first. Now, I know this kind of thing, it stirs a lot of emotions, right? And it's important to hear different perspectives. I'd love to know what you guys think about this in the comments. Is this the direction we should be headed? Anyway, if you're new here and you want to keep on top of explosive stories like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Seriously, it makes me super happy. Plus, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of February. So if you want to be part of helping me reach that goal, subscribe and don't ever miss a beat. So let's delve deeper into what happened during that intense interview Tom Homan had with Caitlyn Collins. For those who might not be familiar, Tom Homan is the former acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement under the Trump administration. He's someone who doesn't mince words when it comes to discussing immigration law. Homan's candidness is honestly something that, just commands attention. During the interview with CNN's Caitlyn Collins, he didn't just jump around the hot topics, he dove right in. You see, Collins started challenging Homan about the logistics of kicking off these so-called mass deportations, getting into the intricacies and the cost involved. Homan doesn't hold back. He stated that deportations were set to commence on day one. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Collins seemed skeptical, pressing him, maybe hoping he'd say something different the second or third time around. But no, Homan doubled down with authority. Day one. Now, how do I put this? The tension in the room was palpable as they debated the financials, right? Collins was really insistent about understanding the budget aspects, asking if the $86 billion was still accurate. But here's the kicker. Homan set the record straight, stating he never quoted $86 billion. That giant figure, he suggested, was a fabrication by the very network interviewing him. At that moment, Homan took the opportunity to pivot to the harsh realities, as he saw them, of illegal immigration. What makes this significant is his unyielding focus on public safety. According to Homan, any cost linked to the deportation process pales in comparison to the human cost of unchecked immigration. He really emphasizes things like crimes committed by those who shouldn't have been in the U.S. in the first place. The conversation quickly turned heavy. Homan wasn't holding any punches as he outlined the human tragedies, young women who've been victims of terrible crimes, families who've lost loved ones. According to him, these are the true costs no one considers. It's not abstract, it's as real as it gets. But then, Collins asked an interesting question on prioritization. How many deportations are being, targeted? Here, Homan didn't dance around. He indicated that, there wasn't an exact number in mind. It was clear. The aim is to make the maximum impact, focusing on the dangerous individuals first. Criminals, gang members, anyone posing a threat to public safety, they're all prioritized. He emphasized, the staggering number of fugitives who had gone through due process, yet despite tax-funded efforts, continue to remain in the country. There are over 1.5 million of these cases, he explained, representing those who went through judicial proceedings only to disregard deportation orders. With Homan, no illegal immigrant is off the table. How could it be legal to let this slide? Now, here's where things kind of got even more intense. Collins wanted an exact target, an accountability metric. How many people do you want deported, Homan?
1 year from tonight, you don't have a number that you'd like to say, this many people have been deported on my watch.
No, I don't have a number. I want to arrest as many people as we can with the resources we have. Want to be the most efficient we can based on prioritization. There is no limit.
But he simply repeated, with absolute conviction, that whenever resources allowed, ICE would aim to do as much as possible. It's policy enforcement without a cap. You know, Homan made the notion fundamentally clear. Violating immigration laws makes one a criminal. It's an undeniable fact in his view, and the law is there to be enforced, not gamed. And the media narratives that cast law enforcers as the villains? Well, Homan wasn't having it. As the discussion advanced, more societal dimensions were touched, like how current support systems, free flights, accommodations, healthcare, are sinking public money rapidly. Homan stresses that, sure, implementing deportation measures implies costs, but also huge savings eventually, benefits taxpayers can't ignore. Well, but think about it. Isn't it concerning that public safety advocates find themselves on the sort of defensive? Homan mentioned facing threats himself, his family facing upheaval, simply for enforcing laws.
This administration's turned this world upside down. So now I'm being attacked, right? I got death threats. My family's not even living in my home right now. So all of a sudden, the guys who want to enforce the law are the bad guys. The guys who break the law are the victims. And for those mayors and those governors who say they're going to stop ICE from doing their job, stop me from doing this job, listen to the Lake and Riley tape. President Trump has made it clear. We're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats right out of the gate because they pose the most danger to this country. What governor or mayor doesn't want public safety threats and national security threats out of their neighborhoods, out of their communities? That's your number one responsibility. So you can hate Trump all you want, but you got to love your community more than you.
Now, to hammer home his point, Homan argued that no public official, no responsible leader would welcome those who threaten the peace of their community into their fold. Prioritizing safety, in his eyes, isn't just a policy, it's a duty leaders owe their citizens. This dialogue, it unmasked lingering media bias. Homan suggested Collins wasn't there for answers but to echo old talking points aimed at swaying opinion, rather than presenting it impartially. Well, to wrap up this fiery exchange, Homan was clear about his vision. Collins seemed to perform as expected, and viewers walked away to ponder who indeed protects their families. What do you folks make of Homan's statements? Do you think the media's portrayal affects public opinion on immigration enforcement? Let's get that conversation started below in the comments. I'm really eager to hear what you all think.